Now, Lucy was saying she thought Zaha looked like he was struggling, overhitting crosses too, clearly needed more rest. Hi, Lucy. Welcome to Red and Blue News. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. So I'll push you back a bit. You don't want my face that close to the screen.
That's it. That's brilliant. That's fantastic. So what you were going to say? You were going to say that you felt he was struggling?
Yeah, I mean, we're so used to him whizzing up and down and terrorising. And whilst I thought he did do that, clearly he was overhitting balls. He was sort of slow to track back. And you only think the pressure on him just to get out playing must be pretty tremendous. But it also kind of echoes the side of things where he wouldn't have that freedom or the time to have those sort of long crosses sort of go haywire if he was with a different team. So I just hope he stays at the end of the season, really.
I mean, I know Roy was saying before the game, he was saying that he hadn't had much training. Do you think, obviously, that's actually had some sort of effect? Not being that obviously he hasn't played for like 2 weeks, and obviously the international break, so he hasn't had much training in that time.
Yeah, it's that tricky thing, isn't it, where you can't get enough training in, but you need the rest as well. It's a horrible juggling act. But psychologically, he's such a huge weapon for us, even if he's in the team and he's not playing at full pelt. You know, we want him there just to frighten defenders and, well, anyone on the pitch, really. So it's just a shame. There were so many overhit crosses, and you just want one of them a bit shorter. So, I
mean, on saying that, then, do you think, because obviously we do rely an awful lot on Wilfred. I think that's, as you can see from stats of late, when he doesn't play, we don't tend to win games.
Yeah.
Do you think then there's a lot of pressure on Wilf to perform from the fans, and also every single week? Because obviously we expect to see a certain level of performance from him, don't we? Absolutely. So do you think there's too much pressure?
I think there's a lot of pressure on him. I think he puts a lot of pressure on himself. You know, he's sort of Palace through and through, as we all like to think, don't we? Until he moves on.
That's right.
Sadly. But yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Because it's not just the talisman, the stats back that up as well. You know, we do win more, we do draw more when he's in the team, and when he's not there, sometimes the heads are down. That said, with Sacco and Tompkins, just wow, you know, what a partnership there. That is an immense partnership. And you know, I was quite sad that Tompkins was out at the weekend. I can't remember what that was for, though. Was that an injury or cramp or?
Yeah, I believe he picked up an injury. Roy did point to some sort of injury before the game, and that's why he had to play Ward. But I must admit, you can see the difference greatly in the defence when he's not playing. I mean, Ward. I'm not saying Kelly had a bad game, but do you think? No. I mean, did you notice the difference between having Tompkins there?
And I don't know if that then sort of carried on to Hennessy to be sort of as wobbly as he sort of seemed to be. You know, there were a couple of crosses, weren't there, that certainly made us all worry, and it just made him look like the sitting duck that we know he can be. So yeah, absolutely. And I think I can recall Sacco. I think he was left floundering, wasn't he, for a missed chance, and you just thought
that's right, yeah.
Whereas I think when they're both there together, there's that assurance. But yeah, I was screaming at the screen.
I can
IPTV,
imagine.
Ben. IPTV. But no, but again, another assured performance from everyone as well. So, yeah, we didn't win, but again, it was another performance to be proud of. So it's.
I don't know what you think, but I must admit, when I was watching Hennessy at the weekend, he made a fantastic save. He got down low to his right-hand side, if I remember right. Very good save. For a tall guy, he gets down quite well.
Absolutely.
The only problem is, I don't know what you think, but do you think at times his footing seems to let him down because he doesn't seem to move very far?
Yeah, and I think there was one cross that I recall. I think it was in the first half where he looked to be in a good position, and then the movement altered, and suddenly he was just like about 3 or 4 sort of yards out from where he should be, and you just think, and it was fortunately a miss.
You can almost hear that. You can almost hear the whole of the home cell sort of gasp as he sort. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
as soon as he goes for a ball comes over, so there is a lot of worry there when he's in goal. He does flap. I must admit. I'll admit.
Yeah, he does, yeah. You can almost hear his hands clapping, can't you?
Yeah, flapping in the wind.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll leave you now as my shyness is sort of getting the better of me.
No problem. Thank you for coming on, Lucy.
All right, take care. Up the Palace.
Thanks very much. Cheers, Lucy. Let's see if Ben will come on now because he's had problems with his getting on, I think. But as I say, there's 34 of you there. Anybody else want to come on and chat? As I say, Lucy's just come on. Oh, Ben.
Hello, mate. You're right.
Hello, mate. Yeah. So, what did you think then of what Lucy had to say?
I think she was brilliant. I've been trying to get Lucy to come on with Nick and Joe. So, Lucy, next week, you'll have to come on.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Sorry, I'm fingers in the way there. There you go. I think you did really well, Lucy. There's some salient.
Oh, losing Ben. The connection is bad.
There we are.
There we go. You're back.
Yeah, I was talking about the crossing. I did the commentary, the updates at the weekend in my own.
Yeah, let's talk about those. They were fantastic. I must admit, you got a few reports. I got a few reports from you, didn't I? After that.
Yes. Yeah.
A few flags.
I did it like I think and how I talk to my mates at a game. So some of the language probably was a bit choice. I do apologise, but.
Yeah, a bit. It was a bit. You were turning your blue on red and blue.
Yeah, well, it separates us from some of the other groups where it's all kind of homogenised and.
Well, to be fair, it was funny. I know some people actually did enjoy it rather than actually were not reporting it. So they were enjoying it. But
next week.
Let's. So yeah, you're going to do this week again. What against Watford?
No, you are.
Who is it? Bournemouth. Oh God.
Bournemouth. No, you can do it.
Okay, because it's Watford this week. No, it's Bournemouth this weekend, isn't it?
Bournemouth, yeah, mate.
Bournemouth.
Yeah,
I'm losing track of the days. Okay,
but
so
I'll do it against Brighton if you want.
Oh, you can do against Brighton. I think we would appreciate that one.
No, we're all going to be there together at that one, by the sounds of it. So
yeah, even Adam has just typed in the chat. Ben, please use a C word.
No.
No. Right, who else we got here? I mean, yeah, even Paul Carew said, I was loving it, well done. I must admit, I mean, it makes a break from the norm, doesn't it? I mean, we get so used to me just putting on our Palace 1-0 end of story and then putting the score and that's it. At least it was a bit more, it was more fun than we used to.
I was sitting there and just, the game wasn't brilliant first off, so I just thought I'd have my musings as well with the odd C-bomb.
It was just brilliant. I must admit, some of the comments, I'd love to go through them now, what you were saying, but I'm not going to because I know some of them were a little bit below the...
Lucy made a brilliant point about the crossing, and I brought it up in the commentary.
You did, indeed.
That cross that came, Hennessy looked like he was off to buy a programme from you. His position.
Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. We were talking about that and about his positioning, his footwork. I mean, I know Carl was talking about this at the weekend as well. And it's just the fact that he just doesn't seem to move, does he? He doesn't command his box.
But first of all, how good was Carl?
Oh, he was fantastic, absolutely brilliant. I mean, I was on the way home from Stanmore when I was watching it, and I managed to get majority, and it was fantastic.
We talked to him quite a lot off, away from this.
Yeah, that's right. His
football knowledge, it does. It just blows your mind, and he just points out things, and you go, "You're right. You're right." So brilliant guest, and he's going to come on again. I spoke to him the other day. Hopefully, if he doesn't end up getting strung up by the Russian ultras, he's going to do a World Cup one for us.
That'd be fantastic if he does that. I know he's got. I'm not going to say too much. But I know he's got something up his sleeve for us. So we'll talk about that another time.
If that comes off, it'll be brilliant because you'll find two very, very, very happy football fans.
Yes, indeed. Right. I mean, so what we got here? Just looking through.
Sacco had a poor game.
I've got to see. And what's that?
I'm just reading the comments. Said Sacco had a poor game.
It was. He had a few dodgy moments.
But that's him, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
He's either brilliant or makes you go.
Yeah, I think we had one of those against Huddersfield, didn't we? We nearly had a goal against Huddersfield because of him.
As much as he was at fault for Sacco, for Salah's goal, Salah's footwork to get that ball down under control.
Oh, he's a quality player.
Needs a haircut. I did say that in the commentary as well. Some of those Liverpool haircuts were shocking.
I did see someone say that that Salah was being booed, and I couldn't. I didn't hear any of that. I must admit, I didn't.
Why would you boo a player that's that good?
I know. I heard lots of booing for Mane, and that made sense. But I didn't hear anything for Salah. But apparently there was booing for Salah. But he's a fantastic player to watch.
I still can't get over. Why was Mane not booked? How can you pick the ball up and not get booked?
And then he was substituted afterwards, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Gel, was it Gel that said it was almost like a friendly match where the ref's going to take him off or I'm going to send him off?
I still can't get over that. I don't understand what was going on, and I think as soon as we saw it, we thought he was going to get a red card for that second one.
Well, I thought that's what he was doing because he kind of walked over there. First of all, I thought he's given the penalty here, not penalty because he was just outside the box. He's given it, and then it was like because all the players surrounding him, Luca and Jimmy Mack, were standing there telling him, so he knew it was what he'd done, and nothing.
No, I know it was bizarre. I don't think I've been watched a game before and seen that happen in any in all years of watching the Premier League. I haven't seen a referee decide not to give a second booker ball and then just allow him to be subbed off. It doesn't make sense to me. If he literally, it was almost as if he was picking the ball up to take it home. I'm not. This is my ball. I'm going. That's it.
But it was interesting, and it's very, very rare that in game Steve Parish started tweeting about it. That's how incensed the chairman was. Usually, you don't hear from him maybe for a day or so, or if it's a win, he pops up somewhere. But within 5 minutes, he was already saying, "How is that not a yellow card?" So when the chairman's doing it in game,
exactly. Anyway, guys, while we're just chatting, if you fancy coming on live. We was talking, you can always press the camera to come live. We can kick Ben off, which I'm sure he'd be happy to do so. He doesn't always like coming on. No, there's other people. There's Andy Hopper on from Aussie saying good day. And who else we got? We got Gary Cavalli in. Jordan's on as well, saying Lookman would be a brilliant signing. Jordan, if you want to talk about Lookman and why he'd be a brilliant signing, please come on. Press the camera plus at the bottom of the screen. We can come on and chat about that. What do you think about it?
Go back to what Carl said.
Okay.
There's going to be a big shuffle. And if anyone knows it's Carl, he's very, very well informed. As are a couple of other people who get called out on here. We've got Matt Wisnam. People seem to call him out a lot. And it's like, well, do you know what he does for a living? We've also got a couple of lads from the FYP who are also journalists. When Carl says we're going to have a clear out, we're going to have a clear out, I think. So who do these, you who were watching, come on. Who do you want us to sign?
Yeah, I mean, also, let's be fair, who do you want us to get rid of? I mean, there's a lot of dead wood there. So
it's an ageing squad, isn't it? It's a very ageing squad. I think we're going to see 6 or 7 go.
Oh, definitely. And I agree with what Carl was saying as well. I don't think one of them will, unless we go down, I don't think one of them will be Benteke. I think he'll still be at the club in the summer.
I think he'll go.
You think he'll go?
I don't think we can afford to keep him. Because as Carl said, he's going into his last year. So he's going to get a pay rise just because that's what players do. Are we going to give him another 3-year contract? It's 100-something plus grand a year. I don't think there's anyone that can afford him in the Premier League that would want him. I think you'll see him go to China. And if this is Benteke playing in a World Cup year, I think we've probably seen the best of him.
Yeah.
And if it was me, I'd probably let him go.
Well, as I say, I think as Carl probably pointed to, the only other issue is going to be getting strikers in. I mean, you're going to get a lot of money, obviously, back and a lot of wages back.
Oh, the money. If you think the money saved on Benteke can buy wages if he goes, that's probably 3 players' wages there, 4 players' wages. That's how much they're on.
That's it. Matthew Bay saying Zaha gone, staying up or not. Matthew, if you want to come on and chat about that, you're most welcome to.
Gone if we go down, without a doubt.
Oh yeah,
I think his agent's already working on him going anyway. To be honest with you, there's been a lot of.
If we stay up, we'll stay.
Salthouse or something, Will's agent. He's doing a lot of back chatting, and I think he wants him to get him a move in the summer. I think we'll fight to keep him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we will fight to keep him. I think if he wants to be here, he'll be here. If he doesn't, he'll go. I mean, Spurs look like they're in. Money. I think Spurs will be in prime position, personally. If it's the only club he'll probably go to.
I don't think Spurs can afford him. Pure and simple. They can't afford him because if Wilf Zaha goes there, he's not going to go on less than he's on Palace. 100 grand plus. So Kane's only on 80. Dele Alli's on 70, I think. Then you've got Song. Then you've got Ericsson. Are they all going to let Wilf come in on 120 grand a week and go, look what I've done this season. You've got to pay me the same. He will blow their wage structure apart. I think Arsenal will go for him.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout, actually.
Well, they tried to go before he went to United, didn't they? They were sniffing around him.
Well, I was very surprised they got rid of Oxlade-Chamberlain and Walcott. That surprised me.
Them.
Oh, I indeed.
I play for England as well. Funny that.
Yeah. Okay, so what's we got here? Troy saying, what happens if Benteke scores a hat-trick in the last 3 games of the season, apart from the fact that 20,000 Palace fans would die of shock? That's a great one.
It is. I'll tell you something, he'll score a hat-trick against Brighton. There you go.
I hope he does, actually. I've got to say, I must admit, I know for all the stick he takes, and he deserves it. I mean, after Saturday, even I can't defend him. He was absolutely shocking. And those 2 gilt-edge opportunities he had, where he could have put us 2-1 up, 3-1 up. I mean, you know. But I feel sorry for him in the fact that the stick he's got. And I mean, last season, he did score 17 goals. And he's got to ask what has happened between then and now. And it does beg a
quite
question.
a simple point, as Cole pulled out the other night, is that he's playing. Any other team would drop him, pull him out, put him in the reserves, and give him a couple of weeks out of the headline. Like, we haven't been able to do it. He's fit. He's going to play. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's the thing. We're missing not having Soloff because Soloff's been injured, isn't he? So I mean, we're missing having him. I mean, because I personally think if it wasn't for Soloff being injured, then Benteke would be dropped.
I heard a rumour. I've never heard of this bloke before. Apparently, some bloke called Connor Wickham.
Yeah.
You know, he came close to coming back to fitness.
Well, exactly, and then a groin strain. It didn't last very long. He played.
Quite controversial. If you've seen his girlfriend, that's quite understandable.
Well, there you go. All right, anyway, still no one asking. We got 42 people online, and not one person is asking to come on. As soon as someone, as soon as someone comes on, I'll kick him off.
Yeah, I've still got to go and build a coffee table.
You see, there you go. You still got to build. Well, I've got John asking to come on again. I'll give it to John again soon. Right, okay then, mate. No worries.
Lucy, if you're still on, I'm chasing you for next week.
So we'll try him again. I know he's had some issues trying to get on. See if he can get on. Oh, John, there you are. Hello.
Hello there. Good evening, all.
Good evening. And what was your point, mate? What did you want to say?
Well, 2 things. I think the referee lost the bottle on Saturday against us because any normal referee probably would send that player off, but he just lost the bottle because we were playing Liverpool. Bournemouth, I think I would drop Benteke and try Sahar and Townsend up front. I think we've gave Benteke enough chances, and I just think he's not doing us fans any prouder. And I can see some fans getting really fed up with him where I sit in my stand. So
yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, sorry, I was going to go to your first point. You were saying you thought the referee bottled it, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. Did you? I mean, were you surprised at the fact that Mane picked the ball up and he didn't do anything? He just went over to him and then just sort of left him, because we all thought he was going to get another yellow card, didn't we? We all had the feeling he was going to get sent off, but he just did nothing, did he?
Well, unfortunately, I couldn't see where I was sitting because I was sitting in the Sainsbury's end, and I couldn't see what was happening. It weren't until I got back home and watched it again, and I thought, okay. First of all, I thought he was giving the free kick, but then when he stopped the game and he then picked the ball up, and I was like, that didn't just happen. Any normal person, it was just amazed that it's a shocking and the dive. God! I've seen Ashley Young do better diving than that.
That was just, I couldn't get over that dive myself. When we saw it, I must admit, when we saw it, I was sitting at the back of the half the way, and I thought, oh God, we got away with one there. But then looking back on the replay, Jimmy Mack was nowhere near him. I mean, he was literally skipping over his legs. That was all he was doing, skipping over his legs. I knew he was not going to get the ball, so went down. I mean, it was astonishing. I don't understand how a player can still be on the pitch after being booked for simulation and then physically picking the ball up from Cabaye, because it was Cabaye who had the ball. Yeah. And he literally just pulled it away. He might as well just taken it down the tunnel with him. So I don't understand what he was thinking at the time and why the referee didn't give another yellow card. So I was just as astonished as you, and probably about every single Palace fan was as astonished. Over to your other point. You were talking about Benteke, and I think you were saying that you want to see Sorloth play instead of? Were you
No,
saying Andros Townsend and Zaha up front?
Yeah, and put Benteke on the bench and maybe move Kabay over to the wing and maybe bring Rubens in midfield. With,
what I'll say is, do you think Kabay would be able to work on a wing? Because I know that Jimmy Mack has worked on the wing a couple of games.
I don't know really, but he might be able to do an okay job, or maybe put Jimmy Mack on the wing. I just think we should maybe. I think maybe he should put Zaha and Townsend up front, and drop Benteke and see what his reaction. Let's see what his reaction is if he comes on at half time. Because
the only thing I'd say to you about that was, if I'd be playing devil's advocate, would be if we put Zaha up front, do we then lose the creativity in midfield? Because at the moment, when we play with Zaha gives us that creativity behind the front person or on the wing, either side. So who would you have to be that creative outlet? Because obviously, when we don't play with Zaha, we do tend to lose. When we do play with, when like Zaha does play, we tend to play better and we do win games. So who would you put to be that creative outlet?
that's a good question. I'm not too sure. I think I might have tried putting Sorloth maybe on the wing. Yeah, Sorloth.
Sorloth can play left-sided. I know he's played left-sided before.
If he's fit, though, but I'm just not too sure what's wrong with him at the moment. I'm still hoping he might be back in time.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, we've just got a few big games coming up, and we could do with all our fit players coming.
Yeah, I mean, that's something. When you look at the run-ins, actually, compared to the other teams we are playing, our run-in's not so bad. We've got a decent run-in compared to the bottom three.
Oh, yeah, I was looking at the pictures earlier because I've got the Premier League wall on my wall in my bedroom.
Yeah.
And the teams below us, even Brighton's got a terrible run after they've got I think it's Bournemouth, and then they've got us. After that, I can't see where the next win's going to come from. So if we
that's it. I mean, I'm just looking at the run-ins now, actually, John. And obviously we're in 17th place at the moment with 30 points. Now our run-in is as follows: we've got Bournemouth away, Brighton at home, Watford away, Leicester at home, Stoke away, and then West Brom. Now you compare that to the bottom three. So we'll look at Southampton. Southampton have got Arsenal away, Chelsea at home, Leicester away, Bournemouth at home, Everton away, Man City at home. Stoke have Arsenal away, Tottenham at home, West Ham away, Burnley at home, Liverpool away, then us away at home, and then Swansea away, and then West Brom, who have then got Swansea at home, which is probably their easiest game out of the lot. Man United away, Liverpool at home, Newcastle away, who actually at the moment are scrapping for points, Tottenham at home, and then us. So to be fair, out of the four of us, you have to say that we have got the easiest run-in. And I think we could at least get maybe 6 to 9 points out of that. What do you reckon?
Yeah, same here. I think we should easily get 6. If I was having a bet now, I'll put money on the 3 teams who are bottom who will go down.
Yeah.
I think the 3 teams who are now bottom of that Premiership are going down.
Okay, that's okay. I mean, how many points? I'll ask you another question. How many points do you think Palace will need to stay up? How many more? Let's say, how many more wins do you think? Do you think we need 3 wins, 2 wins, maybe 2 wins and a draw? What do you reckon? I reckon
we need another maybe 2 wins and a draw.
Okay. Well, anyway, John, thanks for coming on. I'm going to let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much for your points. Guys, if you've got anything else you want to add to what John has said, or if you agree or disagree, just come on and we'll have a chat about it. John, I'll let you go and enjoy your evening, mate. Thanks very much for coming on.
Cheers. No worries. Thank you for having me.
Take care, mate. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Right, guys, if you want to come on, you're most welcome to. As I say, you've heard what John had to say. if you want to come on, just press the little camera. Bring you on, mate. So, anyway, hi, Greg.
Evening. How are we doing?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Do you want to turn your phone asset that way? That's brilliant.
No worries.
Excellent.
There we are.
Right, you were going to make some points, mate.
Yeah. My first point really was it was looking at the run-in and listening to you guys. You're absolutely right. I think the lower teams, they have a habit of getting good results right at the end of the season, like we did last year against Arsenal and Liverpool and Chelsea and the rest. Looking at the last games of the season, if it does go down to the wire, we're obviously at home to West Brom. Stoke are away at Swansea. Last game I went to was the Huddersfield game, and I thought they were particularly poor. And they're away at Chelsea, and as we've already said, Swansea, they're at home to Stoke. And I think Southampton are also away, at home to Manchester City. So if it goes down to the wire, I really think our game will probably become almost irrelevant, because I think West Brom are probably already gone.
Yeah.
Last day fears. No one wants to live through the Charlton side of things again.
No, that's it.
On the last day. But my looking at our fixtures, we don't have to play any of the top six now, and I think really our squad is good enough to get the results against. Let's call them the also-rans, because, I think that they are. Leicester probably a little bit more credit given what they've done recently. But I do think Palace have got the quality. My frustration with the side at the moment is they're playing well against top sides. They played well against Liverpool. Should have beaten Manchester City. I thought they also played well against Chelsea a couple of weeks ago. They seem to get close, but, we get pipped. And I don't know if it's luck, but Huddersfield obviously beat Manchester United this season with 2-0 up, and I was at that game as well, and never at any point did I think we were actually going to win that game, because you just know that it's for whatever reason. I always feel like there's something that prevents us just nicking that result. I don't think we've had any luck this season.
No. The only thing I'll say to you is the only thing I'm worried about is always with Palace. It always seems to be when we play the teams towards the bottom of the table, we always seem to play poorly. We always think about that. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's the pressure of playing these teams or what. I mean, apart from last season, we played Hull and beat them 4-0 at our place in the last game. We tend to play the teams at the bottom. We tend not to play so well. I mean, have you seen that? Noticed that? I mean, this season, for instance, we played Stoke and beat them, but some of the lower teams, we seem to struggle.
Swansea is, that for whatever reason, that always seems to be terrible. And I know we've had a bit of luck against Southampton of late, but I've definitely been to games against Southampton where we just haven't turned up, or we've been awful. But no, yeah, I do agree. We have a habit of doing that. It's a difficult one. I don't really know what we would need to change within the side to prevent that. Reading through all the comments this evening, playing Wolf up front, etc. I just feel now at this stage, I think we are best suited to playing to what we know, keeping Wolf on the wing. You look, the Benteke topic is obviously it's a bit tired. He's not had a great season. He knows that, and then everyone's on his back. Whether that's right or wrong, that's down to your own personal opinion.
Yeah.
He's had, as they said on Match of the Day, 22 goal scoring opportunities, clear-cut chances, and really, as a top £32 million striker, you've got to be getting more than half, and he hasn't. And for whatever reason, I don't know why that is. So I'm a bit stuck with Benteke. I don't dislike him as a player. I think he's a good player, and I feel if we were to sell him on, it would grate against me if what happens if you sold him to Swansea or Southampton or Stoke, and full well he comes back next season and scores against you. He does.
Yeah.
So the only way I think I would ever feel comfortable in letting Benteke leave would be to a club abroad.
I think there's a lot of talk about him going over to China over the last couple of weeks. So, I mean, if he goes anywhere, I think China will be the place, because obviously there's a lot of money over in China. They're playing for players left, right and centre, aren't they? And they're spending a hell of a lot of money.
Well, absolutely. I mean, do you remember Graziano Pelle at Southampton? He went for a lot of money and he was on fire. And I don't know, it's the motive of the player, isn't it? when you sign for Crystal Palace, it's, you know what you're getting yourself into. It's not going to be an easy gig. You know, this is a club where you've really, it's muck and bullets. You know, you're in the firing line all the time, and it just moves me on to my next point that I wanted to talk about, which was, will Roy stay? You know, irrespective of staying up or going down, do you think this is a job he wants to remain in, or, you know, I'm quite fearful because I didn't really want him to be appointed, but I think over the course of the season, I've really warmed to Roy, and I would be quite sad if he left. And I actually feel like the club is in a good position with Roy. You know, I trust that he's going to make the right signings. So I am fearful that should he leave. What's your thought?
I mean, I totally agree with you. I think Roy has actually left us thinking, if he just hope he doesn't leave, because I think what he's done is turned us around. I mean, you only have to look at the performances from when we started at the beginning of the season, when we weren't winning games under Frank de Boer, and the way, I mean, there was, I think the one thing that annoyed me the most about Frank de Boer was at a Swansea game. It was Swansea beginning of the season, and the players did not know where they were playing, what positions they were supposed to be in. There was a little of a conflab at the side of the pitch by the Arthur Waite where I sit, between Benteke, Punchin and Maka, and they were all talking about pointing where they should be, what they should be doing, where they should be going, and there was no cohesion. Roy has got us in a tight knit structure. He's got us playing narrow. He's got us playing in a certain way which suits us. And as much as we haven't beaten the top teams, it doesn't bother me. I think we all knew that the games against Chelsea, against Liverpool, against Man United were all going to be tough, and we were so close to coming in with getting 3 points or a point out of those. So the fact is, as I agree with you, I don't want to see Roy leave. Now, I can't see him leaving personally. I think he will stay. That's my personal opinion. And what I reckon will happen is that obviously he's now in his 70s, isn't he? I think Roy's in his 70s. He's near the end of his his managing career. So all I can think of is they will use Roy to bring someone else in, maybe in the background, or either that he'll suggest someone like, I think that's what Alex Ferguson did when he left Manchester United, suggested, okay, it was David Moyes, but I think they'll do the same sort of thing. I don't know what you think about that. Because I think the way that they've set up at the moment, I know a lot of people have been saying maybe you'll bring Dougie through, but I don't think Dougie will want the management gig anymore. I think it'll be more that someone outside that Roy suggests to Steve to bring in.
I think that would be a good way of choosing a successor. I think the romantic in me would love to see Speroni become some sort of manager, or have a hand in that. You know, there is something attractive about having a player that's been at the club for so long and knows it inside out. There would be a lot of faith in him. I mean, clearly it could all go bad and tarnish a reputation. You know, a little bit like Dougie. I don't really have anything against him. It's a decision that he made that didn't work out for him, and he knows that. But he's back at the club, and he was a great player for Palace, and I'll always remember him as that. A lot of people will disagree with me. I just think that I would rather have Dougie involved at the club. Given that when he was manager, some of the players that were brought in, Jedinak, Balassi, etc., have obviously gone on to become really popular Palace players over the last few years. So having someone like that involved, within the club still, I think can only be a positive. But Bolton, they were more attractive at the time, so it's one of those.
Yeah, that's it. I think he did regret that move, didn't he? I mean, he's always said in interviews. I mean, I remember a HRL interview where he was actually saying he regrets the move and he shouldn't have gone, and he wished he'd stayed at Palace and carried on, because I think it's the fact it was an unfinished job to him, and at the time it was just a bit more money, and it looked like an attractive prospect to him at the time. And it's a shame we didn't manage to follow it through and finish, because I think that season we might have actually finished at the top. We wouldn't have actually fallen into the playoffs. I think we might have actually been champions, or at least got promoted automatically. But as I say, the rest is history. But it's good to see him back in a role. And I know there's a lot of fans who are not too happy about, and they're not too sure what he does behind the scene. But it's good to have him at the club. I personally, I agree with you. I think it's great to have him there and have someone who knows about the culture and the ethos of the club, rather than having someone as a director, or as a sporting director, I think his title is, who has no idea, who hasn't got an idea what the club's about. And I think that's what I know people don't like. I mean, you see it all the time on the group about Steve and the stick he gets. But I think what he's done is actually a really good move, and I think it's something, having someone who knows about the club is a fantastic idea. I don't know.
Definitely. I remember when we first got promoted, and with Holloway and the way that players were signed, and I think we can all remember that and agree that I don't think there was a strategy. I think that everybody was just a bit caught unawares. I don't think they really expected to get promotion, and you know, I've kind of looked at Dougie coming in as a way of trying to alleviate that. And it's clear, you know, to stay in this division, you need to have a process in which you know what players are going to be available, ones that are going to suit a style and system, etc. Going back to Frank de Boer, I don't think anybody wanted him to fail. I mean, clearly everybody wanted to get behind him. But I think the only thing I really sort of question, and it's easy to say it in hindsight, but is did we really have those kind of players within the club to change into that style of football? You know, I don't think we did, you know, and that's not at the detriment to any of our squad. I just don't think the ideas matched those kinds of players, you know, and you're right about Roy. He's got us playing a good style of football, and I think that's, you know, that's got us these results, you know, and with a 7-game deficit ahead of everybody, if we do stay up this year, it's kind of weirdly going to be, for me, the best season yet, because we'll give ourselves such a hard start to stay up. You know, he's got to be in the running, along with, you know, managers like Dyche, and, you know, clearly Guardiola, you know, he's done it at a canter this season, really. But I think those guys, and perhaps the guy at Swansea, to drag them out of it, you know, they've really shown this season, I think, that they are the top managers this year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Greg, what I'll do to finish off, I'll ask what the same question I asked somebody else. How many more points do you think we need, and and basically how do you think we're going to finish the season?
Okay, I genuinely think we're going to need 39 points. Looking at the list, I mean, everybody wants to beat Brighton, of course.
Yeah, it goes without saying.
Look, I think they'll probably get a point at the weekend at Bournemouth. I think they'll beat Brighton on the basis it's just a big game, and I know they're going to bring their A game. I think we do well against Watford. I think we'll beat Watford. I think Leicester, don't know, wouldn't like to call it. We beat them away, they might beat us at home. And I think we'll probably get a draw at Stoke and win at West Brom, at home to West Brom. So that's probably more than what I said. But yeah, ideally 39 points. I think it's a toughie, but yeah, 39.
Okay, well, Greg, thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks,
and being my final person on tonight. We'll do this again. So thanks very much, mate, and thanks very much for your comments as well.
Cheers. Thanks very much. Cheers.
No worries. Take care, mate. Thanks very much.
See you now.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. I know it was a bit of a mishmash tonight put together and whatever, but I thought we'd try it and see how it goes. It was a trial, and if you guys enjoy it, make sure you put your comments about what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy, and how you'd like us to do it. If you'd like us to do it in future, we can do this on a weekly basis, and then we can get people on to interact with us. So if you enjoyed it, put your comments down after the showing of the on the replay. So there will be a replay of this, and I'll also make sure that it's on YouTube. Okay, guys. Anyway, thanks very much for joining me. Thank you to all the people that have come online tonight and been invited themselves into our chat. It's been fantastic. We've really had some good points and some good comments. So, guys, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your evening. See you later.